Hi, it's Lesley Fightmaster. Today's class was requested by Smets072 Yoga for Depression and Stress. So start sitting up nice and tall and bring your hands together in front of your heart and just take a moment here to set your intention for your practice. So we'll begin lying down. One thing that really helps with stress is taking some nice long breaths. So lying on your back, take a nice long smooth inhale and then a nice smooth exhale. And then we'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale a little bit deeper, keep inhaling, pause a moment. And then as you exhale, just continue your exhale, be a little bit longer than your inhale. Exhaling, pause, and inhale 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold a moment. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, and 4. Holding the breath for a moment. And exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding the breath for a moment. And then exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, inhaling and inhaling. Pause and begin your exhale. So your exhale be a little bit longer than your inhale. And again, inhale. Nice long smooth breath in through the nose. Pause at the top. And then exhaling slowly and completely, a little bit longer than the inhale. And then from here, walk your heels right under your knees, and as you inhale, press into the heels into a nice gentle bridge. Lift the hips, low back, mid back, maybe upper back. Exhale and slowly lower one vertebra at a time. We'll do this a few times. As you inhale, press into the heels, lift up into a gentle bridge, reach the tailbone to the backs of the knees. As you exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. And again, keep the belly lifted on your inhale. Stretch up into a gentle bridge. Spiral your thighs in toward each other. Tailbone still lengthening. Exhale and lower down slowly. We'll add our arms. So as you inhale and lift into bridge, reach your arms up and overhead with your palms facing each other. Keep the chin away from the chest. As you exhale, take your arms down by your sides as you slowly lower one vertebra at a time. And again, press into the heels. Inhale, lifting into a gentle bridge. Stretch out the whole front of the body. And exhale, lower down vertebra by vertebra. And one more time on the inhale, lift up. Stretching out the front of the body. Spiral the thighs in toward each other, down toward the floor. And exhale, lowering down. And we'll draw the knees into the chest. So we'll move through our practice kind of slowly today, and we'll focus on some back bends that help to increase our mood. So roll off to the side, come up to seated, and then roll forward. Making your way onto hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, and knees under hips. On your inhale, bring your chest forward, lift your chin and your tailbone up, and as you exhale, round your back, draw your chin in towards your chest. And a few more times. Inhale forward, broaden through the collarbones as you lift your chin and tailbone. Exhale, press away from the floor, round your back, draw your belly and your ribs in and up. Inhale again. Bring your chest forward through your arms, lifting the chin. Exhale, press away from the floor and draw your belly and your ribs in. Inhale forward. Walk your hands forward about a handprint. Tuck your toes under. Make your way toward down dog, but keep your knees bent. Get your hips way up in the air. Stretch your spine back and then reach your right heel down toward the floor. Keep the left knee bent. Then bend both knees. Left heel down toward the floor. And just do that a couple more times at your own pace. So I thought about what can help with stress and depression. One of the things that I've found that really helps. So make your way into your down dog. Make sure your arms are shoulders distance, feet hips width. One of the things I found to be helpful are affirmations. And I think the best writer of affirmations is Louise Hay. She is one of my favorites. So I've put together a couple of affirmations for our practice today. So an affirmation is just something that we say, and I'll say it out loud, and then you can repeat it out loud if you want to, or just in your mind. So the first one for our practice is, I am at home in my body and all is well. I am at home in my body and all is well. Inhale to plank pose, top of a push-up. Take the knees to the floor, shift forward about an inch. Hug your elbows in as you lower all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes and interlace your fingers at your low back. On your inhale, peel your chest up. And then lift your legs, spinning the inner thighs up toward the ceiling. Keep the back of your neck long, so we don't want to crunch the neck. Keep your belly pulled in and your tailbone reaching to the heels, the pubic bone lightly pressing down. And breathe into the chest. And release and rest. Hands by the rib cage. Inhale, pressing in to the knees, and then lift the hips into downward facing dog. Arms and ears are in line. Spread your fingers wide. Press into the base of your fingers. Lift up through the forearms. I am at home in my body and all is well. I am at home in my body and all is well. Inhale again to plank pose. Knees can be up or down. It's up to you. Shifting forward about an inch. Keep the belly lifted and begin to lower again all the way down to the floor. Try to lower down all in one piece as you hug your elbows in towards your sides. Interlace your fingers, other pinky on top. Keep reaching the tailbone toward the heels as you peel the chest up. Inner thighs spinning up, lift the legs. So it's as if all of your toes are pressing into the mat, and then you just lift the legs straight up. Outer ankles are pinning in towards center. Toes are reaching straight back. And releasing. Slide the hands by your ribs. Inhale, little cobra pose, tailbone toward the heels. Or upward facing dog pose, thighs and knees off the floor, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lift your hips and stretch back into downward dog. Arms and ears in line. Pull the belly in, draw the ribs in. I am at home in my body and all is well. Keep the breath nice and steady. Looking forward. Step your feet to your hands. On an inhale, lengthen the spine and look up. As you exhale, fold forward, shift your hips over the heels. Bend the knees as needed. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up and stretch. Exhale, bring your hands to the heart. So coming all the way to the front of the mat, we'll find our Tadasana pose. Pressing evenly through the base of the big toes, the little toes, the inner and outer heels. As you press down there, lift up through your inner arches. Press your inner thighs back, spin them toward the back of the mat. Lift your frontal hip points up Release your tailbone down. Lift your belly and then widen across your collarbones. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your waist and forward. On your inhale, circle your arms out, around, and up. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, Uttanasana. On your inhale, come halfway up and lengthen the spine. As you exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, and come to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, knees can be up or down, shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, press through your hands and feet, upward dog, or stay with cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, come to down dog. Breathing here, gaze between the knees or the feet. Let your head be heavy, release any tension in your neck and in your jaw. As another affirmation, every decision I make is the right one for me. Every decision I make is the right one for me. Look up, either stepping or hopping forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, press down through your feet to rise up, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the heart, Samastitihi. Again, inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold all the way forward. Shift your hips slightly forward over the heels. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine, heart forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank. Again, top of a push-up, knees can be down here. Chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Lift the backs of your knees up. Inhale, press into up dog or cobra, opening the front of the body. And exhale, lift the hips, roll over the toes, downward dog. Or feel free to tuck the toes and then lift. Back to your steady breath. Every decision I make is the right one for me. Inhale, float your right leg back and up. As you exhale, slowly bring it forward. Hover just a moment and then step it up by the right hand and take your left knee to the floor. On an inhale, make your way into your low lunge. Reach the arms up, sink forward, pull the right hip back. Stretch up through the arms and spin your triceps forward. Draw your tailbone down. As you exhale, take the hands to the lower back, interlace the fingers, and just start to open the chest. So keep the collarbones widening. Maybe the hands will slide down the back leg a little, maybe they won't, but see if you can feel your chest opening and expanding. And with your breath, keep your breath way up into your chest. And releasing that, straighten the front leg on an inhale. As you exhale, fold over the straight front leg. Keep your right hip pulling back. Rebend the front knee, tuck your back toes, keep the hips low, chaturanga. Inhaling, press into up dog or cobra pose. And exhaling, make your way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, float the left leg back and up with nice level hips. As you exhale, draw the leg forward slowly, take the left foot down by the left hand and come up into your low lunge. Left hip pulls back, the right hip comes forward. And add your arms as you're ready. Reaching up, spin your triceps forward. And try and get as much length as you can. And then take the hands again behind you, interlacing the fingers, other pinky on top. And then don't worry so much about finding a back bend here. Just try and open up the chest, open up the heart center. Maybe look up gently, but try not to compress your neck. And releasing the hands to either side of the left foot. We'll straighten that leg. As you exhale, fold over the straight front leg and continue to pull the left hip back. And then let's rebend the knee. Tuck the back toes, make your way back into plank. Chaturanga, knees can be up or down. Inhaling into up dog, thighs and knees off the floor, or stick with cobra. Exhale, make your way back into downward facing dog. Every decision I make is the right one for me. Look up to the hands, bend your knees, stepping the feet up. Take an inhale, lengthen out your spine. As you exhale, fold forward, bend the knees if you need to, otherwise firm the leg muscles. Inhale, press through the feet, come on up. And exhale, hands to the heart, Samastitihi. Make your feet about hips width apart. Outer edges of the feet parallel. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take your feet actually a little wider than hips width. Open your chest. Draw your belly in. And look up just a little bit. So you're just really opening your chest and widening. The feet are wider than hips distance apart. There's a TED Talk by Amy Cuddy that talks about this as the superhero pose and how it helps us to increase our testosterone or our strength, and it helps us to decrease our cortisol so that we feel calm but also strong. So just breathing here for a couple rounds of breath. I love every cell of my body. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, right arm down, reach over to the right side with your straight left arm. Try and keep your left arm and ear in the same line. Nice side stretch, keeping the hips level. Inhale, center, stretch up through both arms. Drop the tailbone down, exhale. Left arm down, reach the right arm over in line with the ear. Stretch through the right side of the body. Inhale, come back to center, stretch up nice and tall. Exhale, take your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then with your right hand on the head, just draw the head gently to the right, and then extend the left arm out to the left, not pulling with the right arm, or the right hand on the head, but just giving it a little extra weight so we can stretch out the neck. A lot of tension and stress gets held in the neck. Come to center. Left ear toward left shoulder, left hand up, just resting on the head. Extend the right arm out, flex your wrist, and stretch the side of the neck, lengthening through the right side of the neck. Inhale, center. Take a quarter turn to one side of your mat. Step your feet out wide. Turn your right leg all the way out, your back toes in slightly. Bend your right knee over your ankle. Make sure you're lined up your front heel with your back arch. And then gaze over your fingertips. And repeating out loud or just quietly, I love every cell of my body. Continue your steady breathing. I love every cell of my body. Lift your chest. Keep widening across the collarbones and dropping your shoulder blades towards your waist. Let go of any tension in your jaw, in your neck, in your shoulders, in your hips. Interlace the fingers behind you. Inhale and open the chest. Exhale for humble warrior. Take the crown of the head down toward the floor, your right shoulder down toward your right knee, any amount. Doesn't have to be a lot. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Keep your back inner thigh lifted up toward the ceiling. Inhale back to center. And then triangle pose. Shift your hips back. Take your right hand down to the right shin or the floor, left arm up. You could shorten your stance if you feel a little unbalanced between warrior two and triangle. Look up toward the left hand as long as it's okay on your neck. Try and get as much length through the spine as you can find. Inhale and come up. And feet to parallel. Open the chest on your inhale. And again, this nice stance, this nice superhero stance. Looking up gently, not throwing the head back, but just keep an upward gaze. The body, the shape of the body actually affects the way that we feel. So you can try a little experiment and see how you feel if your shoulders are slumping forward and you're walking around like that versus how do you feel when your chest is open and lifted. Warrior two, second side. Make sure your left heel is lined up with your right arch and your left knee is pointed over the middle toes and right over the ankle. Gaze over your fingertips. Breathing. I love every cell of my body. I love every cell of my body. Continue nice, steady breathing. Interlace your fingers behind your back, other pinky on the top. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale the left shoulder down toward the left knee. Reach the arms up. Allow the crown of your head to just sink down toward the floor any amount as your arms lift and your shoulders stretch. Inhale and come up and release. Come back to feet parallel, toes in just a little bit. This time hands on the hips, open the chest, inhale, that nice superhero stance for a moment, and then exhale coming forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, keep your length, and exhale to fold. Reach the crown of your head toward the floor, lift your shoulders up away from your ears. If your legs are straight, firm the leg muscles. If your legs aren't straight, maybe it would help to take the legs a little bit wider. And don't feel that you have to take your hands to the floor. If you have a yoga block, you can put your hands on a block. Inhale halfway up. Exhale the hands to the hips. Inhale back to center. One more time, superhero stance. I'm going to lean back just a little bit extra if it feels okay for you. Make sure the outer edges of your feet stay parallel. Do not let your feet turn out here. And inhale and come up. And back to the front of the mat, back to Samastitihi. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Inhale, look up to lengthen the spine. Exhale, come back into plank. And lower all the way slowly to the floor. Try to have everything touch at once, but you can always take your knees down, arms by your sides. Inhale, come up for shavasana, locust pose. Inner thighs spinning up. Pick up your belly away from the floor. Reach your tailbone vigorously towards your heels. Widen and spread across your collarbones. Breathe into your chest. Release. Bend your knees, reach back for your feet. We'll come into Dhanurasana. If that doesn't work for you, stay with Shalabhasana, the pose we just did. Lift up with the feet and press them back. Breathe into the chest. Keep the belly lifted. And lower down. Hands by the ribs. Inhale, press into up dog or cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Look forward and come right down onto the knees. Take your knees hip socket distance apart. Inner thighs spinning back like you're holding a block between your inner thighs. Bring your hands to your low back. Press down slightly with your hands so your hips are reaching toward your heels as you open up the chest, a little bit of a back bend here. Hips toward the backs of the knees. Widening the collarbones, let your head go back any amount. Squeeze the legs toward each other to come up. And then extend back again into plank pose, lower chaturanga. Inhale to press into up dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. I am at home in my body and all is well. Nice steady breathing. Inhale to plank. Knees up or down, it's up to you. Lower slowly to the floor. And we'll bring the hands by the waist. It's a little bit lower than they are for cobra. Inhale for Shalabhasana B. Keep the back of your neck long. Inner thighs are spinning up still. Pick up your belly, pubic bone presses down gently, lifting the hip points up toward the navel. And just think about getting as much length here as you can. Keep the inner thighs spinning up and lower down. Bend the knees, reach back for the feet. If that doesn't work for you, stay with the other pose. Inhale, lifting into Dhanurasana, bow pose. Press the feet up, lift them up, press them back. Keep the belly lifted. Widen across the collarbones. One more long breath and release down. Hands by the ribs. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog, big breath. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Stretch back and lengthen. And then onto the knees for camel pose, Ustrasana. So you can do the same thing we did before, keeping the hands at the low back is beautiful. Widening the collarbones, the inner thighs are spinning back. Now tailbones reaching toward the backs of the knees. You can take the heels if that feels comfortable for you, but then press gently forward to stretch out the whole front of the body. Let your head go back any amount. Breathe into the chest. It can be kind of hard to breathe here sometimes. Sometimes it can feel a little panicky, so just relax. Relax and breathe. Come out of it whenever you're ready. Take another breath into the chest. Keep the tailbone reaching toward the backs of your knees. And then squeeze the legs toward each other to come up on your inhale. Sit your hips back toward your heels. Take your head down to the floor, child's pose. Every decision I make is the right one for me. Every decision I make is the right one for me. Let's make our way back into downward facing dog. Stretch back the chest toward the thighs. Reach the heels toward the floor. And then start to walk your hands and your feet toward each other to a forward fold. Take your opposite elbows, let your head hang, gently rock from side to side. Abundance flows freely through me. Abundance flows freely through me. Take your feet wider than your hips and come into Malasana squat. Toes can turn out. If the knees are turning out, have the toes turn out. You can also stay up higher if it doesn't feel good to be low. Drop your hips down if that feels okay, stretching out your spine. Sit up tall, bring your hands toward the chest. Widen across your collarbones. And then we're just going to sit right down. And extend the legs forward. Bend your right knee, right sole of the foot on the floor, right hand behind you. Inhale the left arm up tall. Exhale, take it across and twist. Every time you inhale, see if you can find a little more length. Every time you exhale, roll your right shoulder back. Abundance flows freely through me. Inhale your head to center and exhale to unwind. Bend the left knee, left hand behind you, right arm up on your inhale. As you exhale, take it across and twist. Inhale to sit up nice and tall, lengthening the spine. Exhale and roll your right shoulder back. I love every cell of my body. I love every cell of my body. Inhale the head to center. As you exhale, unwind. Extend the arms up, sit up nice and tall, flex the ankles, and come forward to Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, extend with a nice long spine. Try to avoid rounding. So my husband was trying to pick up an ant out of my shoe, and I didn't realize that the camera moved. So that's what happened. Breathing here, repeating out loud or quietly, I love every cell of my body. Inhale your head up. Exhale to release. Bend your knees. Lie onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest and then take the pinky toe sides of your feet into Happy Baby. Keep the tailbone lengthening toward the floor. So you're drawing the tailbone down as you take the knees in toward the armpits. And then option to extend the legs out to the sides. Get a little more stretch if you like. And then we'll make our way into our final resting pose. So take a few moments to get comfortable in your shavasana. Allow your feet to flap open, arms by your sides, the palms facing up. This is a quote from Louise Hay again. You Can Heal Your Life is the name of the book. I love that book. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I no longer choose to believe in old limitations and lack. I now choose to begin to see myself as the universe sees me, perfect, whole, and complete. And now just rest. And start to reawaken your body. Make some movements, stretch. Slowly make your way up to seated as you're ready. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I no longer choose to believe in old limitations and lack. I now choose to begin to see myself as the universe sees me, perfect, whole, and complete. Your hands together in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications, sending out this beautiful energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you liked our class, please push the like button and share it with your friends. Leave me a comment. I love to hear your comments. Let me know if this helped with some stress. And if you can afford to help support us in any way, there is a link below. You can send a donation through PayPal or go to fightmasteryoga.com and click on the Amazon link. If you shop at Amazon, it doesn't cost you any more to go through our link, but it helps to support us. I'll have my email address below if you are interested in teacher training. You'd like to become a yoga teacher and just be able to teach what you love. You can send me an email about that. If there's a class that you would like to see, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. I would love to make a class for you as well. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. Bye.